Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video, and I'm going to talk about some newly shown items from New York Toy Fair 2019. And this time we have some official images of some of the new 2-packs coming out for the MCU movies. So I believe this is kind of an extension of the first 10 years series that they did, where they kind of went back to all the old movies and started making more figures from them that we never got before. And that's basically what they're doing here. Some of these I've already talked about because they've been on display here and there, but now we have the official images of them all. We have extra ones that were not shown previously, and we kind of see how they are all going to be sold. So this is very exciting. So let's just start left to right, man. So at the very top left, we have this Thor Ragnarok 2-pack, which features Hela, as well as the Executioner. Executioner we never had a figure of before. The figure actually looks really nice. I'm liking it a lot. I love the armor, and he, of course, comes with his guns there that he got in Texas, and then his signature axe, of course. He looks nice. I've never been a huge fan of the character, though, and in the movie he was just kind of okay. So character-wise, for me, nothing too special, but figure-wise, it looks really nice, in my opinion. He does come with Hela, which is very cool. Now, Hela is a character we've already had before. This is an updated version of her. It comes with a different head sculpt. This is kind of Hela right when she gets out of the portal, essentially, that type of look. So she has an unmasked head sculpt with which the original one came with an unmasked head sculpt, but this was just a newer version of it. It has her hair more raggedy, which I think looks really cool, and in front of her eyes and stuff. I think that looks nice. And then it looks like she's going to have a hand that's attached to Thor's hammer, which is really cool, and it's like crushing it. I think that is a nice accessory. So it's a nice update for Hela, and then you get a totally new figure with her. I do plan to get that set just because I don't have, you know, like Executioner, he's a new character, and then I'm just a big villains fan, and they're both kind of villains. I mean, Hela's definitely a villain. The other guy is half a villain, I'd say. He's a villain in the comics, at least. And I like the updates that they've done with Hela. Then we have the bottom left. This is the weakest pack of them all, in my opinion. If you just look at it, it looks like it's not Marvel Legends, to be honest. It looks like a 3 3/4 inch line type of 2-pack, but it's from the first Captain America, and it's Steve Rodgers with Peggy Carter. It's kind of cool to get a Peggy Carter figure. I mean, she's a big part of Steve Rodgers' story, so like, you know, that's good. She's an important character in the MCU for a certain character, essentially. She looks all right. Her costume is very clean. It doesn't look like there's any like there's not much detailing in there. She just looks really plain, and then it looks like it's hindering articulation quite a bit, although, you know, like she never like fights substantially or anything, so I don't know what kind of poses you can put her in. Head sculpt wise looks okay, doesn't look great, to be honest. Steve Rodgers, this is a very World War II version of him. His head sculpt is not looking great, and in the last 2-pack that they did from this line with Crossbones, that Captain America's head sculpt was spectacular. So to go from that to this is really disappointing, and just figure wise, characters, I don't think either of them are really necessary, and their figures don't even look great. So that's going to be an easy pass for me. I've just got no interest in that. Then in the middle we have Avengers Infinity War pack. This is an important pack. This is at least, here's the thing, with these two, I think that these are in a pack together. They might be sold separately. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that they might be in a pack together. But we have Iron Man's newest armor, which they did do before, but here's an updated version of it with a more shinier color scheme, and with some weapons that are kind of a staple of that suit. You have the weapon hands, and then you have those kind of I guess energy magnetic kind of things that pop off on the sides, which I think is really cool. That suit, the design of the suit itself wasn't anything special, in my opinion, personally. What made the suit special was all the unique and cool things that it can do. So I'm glad that we're finally getting it represented a bit here, toy-wise. I feel like everybody was really late on the party for this, because like Hot Toys released their regular one, and then they had to release like a bonus pack with it months later that had some of these accessories. And same thing, Marvel Legends did it, but they didn't release any accessories with it, and now we have another version with more accessories. So it is nice to get that. Then we have Spider-Man, which I did talk about because it was on display. But this looks like a really nice Spider-Man figure. It has a nice shine to it, especially in the blue. At least in person, it had like a shiny blue look, which was very cool. The mechanical arms look really nice. I like how wide they are. It definitely doesn't look like it's cheap or they made them too small or anything like that. And from what I can tell, it looks like there's articulation here, and then at the base. I think ball hinges in all those places, which means he's going to have some really nice articulation, which is great to see. But that just looks like a really nice figure there, and just because of how much you get with them both, like that feels like a nice. If they do come in a 2-pack, it's definitely going to feel like you're getting your money's worth with the two of them, I think. Then the top right, we have an Ant-Man and the Wasp 2-pack featuring Ghost as well as Michael Peña's character. What's his name in the movies? You know, I can't remember his name in the movies. What is it? But I think that that's an interesting 2-pack. Like, I don't know how much I need Michael Peña. Like, he's a great addition to the MCU, and I love him in the Ant-Man movies, but I don't know if I need a figure of him. So, personally, like, it's kind of interesting, but it's he's just kind of your standard suited figure. He looks a little awkward proportion-wise. His arms look a little skinny, and his body looks a little bulky. Oh, it's Lewis, that's his name. Lewis. So, in general, like, I like that he's got a big smile. That's fun and everything, but it's not a figure that I need, to be honest. But hey, I like the character, so it's gonna be a fun addition to my collection, I guess. Ghost looks great, but like I said, in person, it looks like she's got a lot more smoother surfaces than she should. It looks like all of this kind of darker gray doesn't really have any texture on it, figure-wise, and it should, because in the movie that like has all very small patterning throughout it. So I'm hoping that it'll have the same level of detail on the figure that it does in the costume in the movie, because it doesn't look like it has that detail. But overall, I think it looks like a really nice figure. But again, I do want it to have a secondary head sculpt so that you can display her without her helmet on, considering a lot of the time in the movie she doesn't have her helmet, so I would definitely like that. And then we have the Thor Ragnarok pack. Oh, there's 2 Thor Ragnarok packs. I'm just figuring that out now. That's interesting. It's nice to see that they're not limiting themselves and just doing like 1 pack per movie or anything like that. So I am happy about that. But we have the Grandmaster, which looks great. The face sculpt, especially on display, the face sculpt really looks like Jeff Goldblum. And then the costume itself is really nice. It's a completely new sculpt, of course. His accessory that he comes with is unnecessary, but still cool. And he's looking quite nice. And then we have Korg. Korg looks a little too skinny, in my opinion. I think that he should definitely be bulked up more. He's got very thin proportions, to be honest, which is definitely a shame. However, the detail in him is really nice. Like, he's got a great rock detail throughout his body, of course, and then even just on his armor and his costume, it looks like nice detailing. So we'll have to see. Seeing him on display will kind of see if he looks weird because he's so skinny or not. So we'll have to see him when he's compared to some other figures in person, if he looks bad or not. But overall, I am happy to see him. But again, I think that this 2-pack should be a 2-pack featuring the Grandmaster and the Collector, and then they should do one for Korg and Meek. I think that would have been really nice. Now you might say, well, how could they do the Collector and the Grandmaster since they're not in a movie together? But nonetheless, I think that they could do one that's not based on a movie. You know, I mean, the 2 of them I think would fit well together. They're related in the films, and they have a similar design to them, so I think the 2 of them would look really great together. I do hope that we get a Collector figure eventually. That would be really nice. As far as Korg, I hope that he does come with a little Meek, you know, like one of the small non-robotic body Meeks. That would be nice, because I liked Meek. You know, to be honest, I would really love a Meek. This is going to be controversial, but I would prefer a Meek figure, like, with his robot suit over Korg. I know that nobody else would agree with me with that, but I would certainly love that. But yeah, overall, we have some great packs here. I feel, this is going to be really selfish, but I hope this isn't it, to be honest. Like, I want to see even more. I want to see them really push into the movie series even more, because these are great figures, but there's not a whole lot of villains here that we haven't had before, because I don't know if I consider my Executioner a villain or not. And then Hela, we've already had, so really Ghost is the only true villain. The Grandmaster, you know, like, he's an antagonist, but he's not like the villain of that film. That's Hela. So the Grandmaster and the Executioner, I don't really consider villains much. Hela we already have. Ghost, I would consider her a villain, just because she is the villain in that movie, even though she has a change of heart. But nonetheless, I would like to see more villains, especially from the earlier films. I want to get an Ironmonger and an Abomination and a Whiplash, and there's so many other ones that I really want, so I'm hoping that they do show a little bit more. But if they don't show any more, that would be understandable, because they showed a whole lot here. And these are looking like great packs. I definitely plan to pick up 4 out of 5 of them. them. So let me know what you guys think of all of these figures and the packs in general, and what you think of their character choice and how you think of the figures in general, because there are definitely some very cool ones here. So yeah, I'm very excited to get these, and I'm just excited to see all these new figures from Toy Fair 2019 in New York. They're showing a ton of Marvel Legends, so stay tuned. I'll be talking about all the Marvel Legends figures that they do show, plus a whole lot more just in general. There you go. Thanks so much for watching.